welcome to the world of DePIN, where we try to explore what the buzz is all about and what's been developing in this space. Is this another hype, or it can actually bring billion users in the Web3 space? Join me as I unlock these questions with the pioneers from the Web3 space. Let's explore the world of DePIN together. We have the same thing, like when everybody keep telling me like there's nothing wrong with Uber, why do you need Drive? So that for like people to understand like why there's a need.
We offer to use our conferencing app instead of Google Meet or Zoom or something else. We offer more secure, more reliable and free service. And it's open source. I'm Vadim, I'm co-founder and then CTO at dTelecom. We are building a decentralized network for real-time communications. It's a DePIN project.
With everything that we are using today, it works perfectly fine for us. Why did you guys thought about a need of a decentralized telecommunication?
We integrated real-time live voice recognition and translation. It means that we can speak any languages, and we will see in the chat some captions what we said with translation to English or to your own language. So that's some kind of special feature there.
DRIFE, where we have drivers and rider who communicate with each other before the ride starts. So a rider want to know where the driver is, driver want to know where the rider is, they call each other. And currently we use like centralized third parties to do this communication. Is there a possibility using your protocol that we can allow in-app communication between drivers and riders? This is our last episode for this season, and today I have Vadim from Telecom. He's the CTO and co-founder. Thank you so much, Vadim, for joining us today.
Hello, thank you for invitation.
Thank you so much. So for our audience, just to start with, can you give us like a brief introduction about who you are, where are you coming from, and about the project?
Yeah. I'm Vadim, I'm co-founder and I'm CTO at dTelecom. We are building a decentralized network for real-time communications. It's a DePIN project. We are building a B2B SaaS. It's there are a lot of existing Web2 services. It's communication platform as a service when you can use cloud service for building some kind of audio-video conferences, apps with live streaming, metaverses, social applications, and all that things. Yeah, so we're building it in Web3 way, decentralized, with possibility to share resources, to save money and a lot of things. Yeah.
Interesting. Well, a very basic question, and this is because, we really want to reach out to audience beyond Web3 and for people to understand what is happening in the DePIN world, but also in Web3 world. And that's why this question is for you. Why decentralized telecommunication? What is wrong with decentralized telecommunication? With everything that we are using today, it works perfectly fine for us. Why did you guys thought about a need of a decentralized telecommunication?
Actually, I cannot agree with you that everything works fine and good right now because
True. That's like we have the same thing. Like when everybody keep telling me like there's nothing wrong with Uber, why do you need Drive? So that for like people to understand like why there's a need.
yeah, before dTelecom, I worked on a project. It was a social uh, social application. It's like we had functionality same with Twitter Spaces, X Spaces. It's like audio, but we had video. You could have audio video rooms with many participants, people on stage, listeners, and other things. And we used, I think, 4 different Web2 providers for real-time communications. And we had some problems because of a lot of limitations. We had to customize something, but it was not possible. Prices were very high, and because it's centralized, sometimes it actually didn't work. And in different regions, they work fine in North America and in Europe because they have points of presence there. But in Asia, they don't have point of presence, and you have huge latency, and the quality is not good. Yeah, so that's uh, like what we had, and later we decided to build our own infrastructure for our own project, and we understood that it's very expensive actually for a single project to host the whole infrastructure because for real-time communications, for conferences, the main the most important thing is to keep latency low. To have low latency, you need to have a lot of servers in different locations where your users are. So you need servers in different countries, in different cities in the world. You cannot have servers just in United States, for example, in Germany, in Europe.
Correct.
So to make it, we had to find a lot of companies, data centers in different countries to make some contracts, and it was a problem actually. And we understood that there are a lot of companies like us who will be happy to share these resources, but to make it secure and actually to make it possible, we can do this kind of collaboration of projects using the same infrastructure only with a blockchain, because sometimes you cannot make contracts with different companies because it is different countries, sometimes different regulations, a lot of things.
Interesting. I have this another question when we talk about telecommunication. It's a very big ecosystem, it's a very big space. We are speaking about, peer-to-peer communication. We are speaking about content creation. We are speaking about customer support. There's so many different aspects that comes into this. And I do understand that you guys are building an infrastructure on top of which a lot of different people come and build different things. Like somebody can build a social media platform, a Web3 version of YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, all of that is a possibility. A Web3 version of Google Meet, all of that is a possibility when we are trying to say like we are an infrastructure. Where do you guys stand uh, in that aspect of, what is your goal? What are you trying to build here?
Yeah, actually, the main goal for us to get a lot of servers in different parts of the world, because mm, our goal is to provide better service with with low latency, and we are going to onboard operators from many countries to make it better in South East Asia, in South America, in Africa, because this region is not covered by Web2 companies, even in 2024. So the goal is to have some numbers. It's thousands, hundreds of thousands of servers in different parts of the world.
Uh-huh. Interesting. There's another thing that I was looking at, and I saw this campaign that you guys are running, which is about content creators. So there's a $10 million worth of rewards that you guys have in place for content creator. Do you want to tell us more about it? And is it only for Web3 content creator, or any content creator across the globe that doesn't understand Web3 space can participate in this?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for the question. It's like we have a dTelecom, it's infrastructure, B2B, and we have a DMeet. It's like a Google Meet, but built on top of decentralized infrastructure. We have some Web3 features there, but it's not very important actually for everyone.
Correct.
We have it's like an incentive program for early adopters, for early users. We offer to use our conferencing app instead of Google Meet or Zoom or something else. We offer more secure, more reliable, and free service, and it's open source. You can use it for your own meetings, work, friends,
Mm-hmm.
family, anything, or you can host some kind of, I don't know, like live streaming, telling something
Uh-huh.
for your community. And if you connect wallet, but you can create a wallet with email.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need the actual wallet, and you will receive some points. If you host conference,
Mm-hmm.
you will receive more points than if you just viewer. But if you a viewer, you will receive some points too. And later you can uh, convert these points into tokens. We will use these points while airdrop our token later. So it's just incentive program to make some motivation for people to try products built with decentralized infrastructure and to see it works. It works better, and you
Interesting.
can use it every day.
What are the products that you guys have are already live? I do understand like an application like Google Meet is what you already have live. Is there anything else that is live that can be used by users?
Um, Yeah, now we have an app.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Google Meet. You can have conferences,
Mm-hmm.
but we integrated live real-time live voice recognition and translation. It means that we can speak any languages, and we will see in the chat some captions what we
Mm-hmm.
said with translation to to English or to your own language.
Uh-huh.
So that's some kind of special feature there. Um, yeah, I think that's the main product we have. And of course, anyone can use dTelecom. We have working product. You can register there, get API key, and
Mm-hmm.
use our API and SDKs to build your own uh, application or something like that.
Interesting. So just thinking about this as a broader use case, specifically for, be it Web3 or Web2 application, taking example of our application Drive, where we have drivers and rider who communicate with each other before the
Mhm.
ride starts. So rider want to know where the driver is, driver want to know where the rider is, they call each other. And currently we use like centralized third parties to do this communication. Is there a possibility using your protocol that we can allow in-app communication between drivers and riders? Like take this as a case study. Is that something that's a possibility already, or is that something that you guys are working on?
Yeah, it's possible. You can use our SDK to make calls between users and your application using our network because
Mm-hmm.
peer-to-peer calls doesn't work always. Anyway, you need some kind of server, and
Correct.
we offer more secure, reliable, and cheaper service for this case.
Interesting. Let's say what like the aspect of being when we speak about something which is decentralized, we often add this word of we being more secure, more transparent, which is something that's a problem with centralized ecosystem and specifically with telecommunication as a network or as an ecosystem where we say like okay, yes, WhatsApp says it's encrypted, but is it truly encrypted? Like, is someone listening to what we are speaking? To each other, and that's something that stays with a lot of users, that someone is listening and someone is watching, and all things that we are communicating with each other is stored somewhere. How, when we are decentralizing telecommunication, bringing users away from centralized aspect, how do we take care of all this aspect, giving the user sense of security that someone is not overhearing me and my interaction with you is secure and nobody else has access to that? Because that's something that you always have in your head when you are using centralized servers or centralized application that exist today, even if they say that your conversations are encrypted, which in reality are not, because a lot of time they are like cases when like, the government or the courts ask for like details and WhatsApp has gone ahead and given access to all the chats and everything. But when we are speaking about decentralization, where do we stand in terms of those aspects of taking care of first, yeah, we are secure in terms of how information is being dealt with and also encrypted.
Yeah, actually, for our case, it's very simple question and the same simple explanation because first of all, we are talking about uh, more secure, more reliable,
Mm-hmm.
and all the things in terms of B2B. And
Mm-hmm.
first of all, we are talking with clients, with our clients, with businesses. For business, it's like what you offer for example for your project. It's like
Mm-hmm.
you can build your application on top of our infrastructure using our API and SDK. You can build and use our network. All tools, all API, all SDKs, all servers, completely open source. You can check whatever you want. You can read all the code. You can see everything. Same time, you can customize it, you can improve it, you can whatever you want. And in case of many clients, that doesn't like some kind of vendor lock when you use some kind of cloud provider and you cannot migrate from there. In our case, you can set up everything yourself and use your own network
Mm-hmm.
in case of any problems. So this is the first point. The second, when you are a client, you can own part of the network. You can install our software on your own servers in your anywhere you want, and you can join the network. So you can host part of the network. You can share these resources with the whole of the network and use the whole of the network. And third, you actually can earn some money back because if you host part of the network, your network used by everyone, and you receive some revenue share from the whole network. And yeah, about security, first of all, it's completely open source. You can make any kind of audits, security checks. And second, we are hosting every conference on multiple servers. It's not like single conference on one server. And these multiple servers, they are controlled by independent entities. And the data not concentrated on single server, controlled
Mm-hmm.
by single entity. And the whole network is controlled by um, different companies, different people. They cannot get access to whole data. And about some kind of reliability, we don't have some single point of failure. We host conferences. It's like a mesh network. Single
Mm-hmm.
point of failure for us. It's blockchain. We store some security and billing information in blockchain. So if blockchain works well, everything works well. Yeah. So
Interesting.
that's
Interesting. So I was going through this one use case, and I did speak about this in one of my other podcasts about Uber coming up with this safety feature where they say that, you need to enable us hearing you at Uber as an application, and this is part of safety and security, so we can listen to you, and if anything goes wrong, we get access to the recording, and we as company can take decision. However, when they asked me to enable that feature, I felt that as if, somebody's like watching me all the time. If I enable something like that, and I've stopped using the application ever since then, like, in places I was using Uber, is because I felt that okay, then I'll be heard all the time. And with how things are progressing with AI and everything, we any which ways feel very controlled. Now, if somebody's going to listen to me all day long, I don't know how the way all these centralized servers and centralized
yeah,
companies going to control us. And that keep coming to me all the time because, at least I feel like the at least Web3 community is more aware of things which is about, privacy, transparency, security of my data, and how I've been controlled by centralized entities, which is important to me as a Web3 user. And that's why we all belong to this community because freedom to have access to my own data and control things is very important to me, which is not something that is yet very evident to others, and people are like fine with that. But when you see things like this, it raises a lot of question that to what extent I am being controlled, and specifically with things like, where communication aspect of how we interact is also being recorded and is being used on me is something that scares me. How when we build something which is decentralized in nature with telecommunication, make sure that this aspect that nobody has access to what you're doing and it is not centralized, reach out to general users like people for them to know that I can feel better about the platform that I'm using and know that I'm not being controlled by those platforms. How has you, someone who's in Web3 space, communicated to the general public at large? And do you also feel concerned about this, that it is a very important aspect of what we are building, why we are building. We want it to translate to users, they to understand what we are building.
Yeah, I agree with you. And actually, the main problem, from my perspective, when you're talking about Uber, and if you enable this feature, you don't know actually how it will work. It's like a black box
Exactly. Yeah.
because maybe they will listen
Mm-hmm.
everything, maybe not. Maybe they will use it for some purposes, maybe not. Yeah, that's the problem. For DePIN projects, most of DePIN projects, they are built uh, completely open. I mean, it's open sourced because you cannot build a DePIN project actually. Not an open source because you need to share the code with node operators. They need to
Mm-hmm.
to use it. And if you're talking about Web2 projects, WhatsApp, yeah, you have end-to-end encryption, but what's going on there?
Correct.
Servers, maybe
True.
they store everything you don't know. And
Correct.
in our case, uh, in our plans, thousands of independent people from different countries will operate the network, and they will control the network, and actually they will contribute to code base. They will improve it, so it's completely transparent. It will not be possible for some entity to make something wrong, to use data for their own purpose. But actually, it's not possible to have all the data because data pass different servers
Mm-hmm.
operated in different countries. So it's just there is no equation.
Interesting. That's interesting. I hope like people who are listening to this also understand like why decentralized telecommunication is important now, because it's like
Yeah, it's yeah, sorry, it's like actually the idea coming from Uber. We are not building a
correct,
single
correct,
company
correct.
with a lot of engineers. We're trying to hire system administrators with their own
Mm-hmm.
servers and hold the network.
Interesting, interesting. Now, because we know we call this when I started this podcast, we call this like World of DePIN, and like how every season there's a new hype and then there's new buzzword in the crypto space, I guess. And when I started this podcast, I said like DePIN cannot be a buzzword. I guess this is the time we are getting real in the Web3 space, like people caring about building things that matter and things that can be used by user beyond Web3. What do you feel about DePIN as a concept? Is it going to stay or is it just another hype?
Uh, Maybe it's hype about buzzword. We started this project about 2 years ago. So
Uh-huh.
a year ago, we found that, oh, we are building a deepin project.
Same for us as well. I say, oh, it is called DePIN.
Yeah, but it's a it's a good intersection of like before Deepin, it was a DeFi, like a real something real use case
Correct.
for blockchain, and now we see many big projects already like Helium, and Helium worked with IoT a few years ago,
Mm-hmm.
and it was okay. So I think projects uh, where you can using blockchain provide maybe cheaper service or better service, and there are some value from using this. I mean, if you have clients who will use it, so it's like a complete economy model, and it could work if it's called DePIN or it's not called the DePIN. For us, it's more like a business. It's not like a DePIN project.
That's true. That's true.
Because if you're talking about prices, existing Web2 solutions in our area, they have a huge markup. We understand why they have this markup, but we can really reduce these numbers.
True, true, that's true. Is there anything exciting happening at your project? What can we, as Web3 community, can expect next coming in from the telecom?
Now we are working on integration with Peak Network.
Mm-hmm.
They're planning some lift-off campaign, and we are integrating uh, some part of Peak Network to provide our clients with some possibility to get Peak tokens if they use our product. So I think that's the main
Nice.
thing
That's
for
interesting. Cool. Thank you so much, Vadim, for coming over for the podcast. It was really nice to speak to you, and I hope people got like more idea about how you guys are changing the world of telecom and why it is important. Thank you everyone who joined us today. I will see you soon in the next season. I hope till the time we are back again, DePIN is still relevant and we are still building for the real world. Thank you everyone.
Thank you very much.
Thank you everyone for tuning in today. I hope you enjoyed the episode and have an understanding that DePIN is not just another buzzword. See you in the next episode. Till then, keep exploring the world of DePIN.